All right. Welcome everybody to another exciting video. Chess with Lutho Mfazwe. You are chilling with me, Lutho Mfazwe, on my channel. Chess with Lutho Mfazwe. My thoughts, my understanding, my interpretation of the game of chess, and everything in between. Yebo, yebo. You are looking at a game that I played in the Western Province League 2024. Yeah, and yes, I already covered these two guys, Ding Liren versus Gukesh Tomaraju. I believe that today they took a break from playing, a well-deserved break for Ding, who actually managed to catch up to Gukesh with a score now of 6 on both sides. He won game number 12, and a needed break for Gukesh Tomaraju because he lost the game and he needs to recuperate and get his mind in order, particularly since now there are only 2 games left. And after the 2 games, we go into the tie breaks. And I believe the tie breaks will be a rapid event. So a lot of structuring that needs to happen and a lot of mental preparation as well and speed preparation as well, considering that they are used to playing 2 hours against each other, and now they'll have to switch to a lesser time, control the time format. Not sure what the time control is, but anyway, we are going to rapid in the tie breaks. And people were saying that the rapid tie breaks will actually favor Ding Liren much better than Gukesh. I don't know why that is. Perhaps Gukesh is not so quick, and Ding Liren is actually very good at rapid. Not sure, but we'll see it at that time. Yes, and I wanted to show you as well some of the pictures that we took at the Cape Town Chess Awards. Some of the players in Cape Town were being awarded for their work and contribution to chess advancement on the 30th of November 2024, as well as the award ceremony for the league teams that actually won and made it to the podium. And these are some of the images that you see on your screen, most of them being from Delft Chess Club, from the Delft Chess Club's perspective, but at least I think we managed to take some pictures of some of the people who actually attended the event as well. Shout out to the organizers who organized the deco as well. It was a very fantastic event, and it was actually a very nice time as well to be there. Like I said, shout out to the organizers. As Delft Chess Club, we like eating. We like eating, so you need to make sure that our stomachs are filled to the fullest. And I think the personnel who was actually organizing did a very good job. You can see that we are enjoying ourselves there. Okay, anyway, guys, let's leave the small nitty-gritty stuff and let's get into today's video. I'm showing you a game against a player, Lundi Shoba, who was playing for the UWC team. I believe that's the B team. And I was surprised that he was playing board number 1, considering that Monre Vinforkel, who was playing board number 2, is not only higher rated, but at the same time, he is also very, very strong. And I've played him a few times. And the last time I played him, I believe I actually won, but I had to work for the win. And the previous time when I played him, we actually drew. So he was is very, very strong. And when I saw that Lundi was playing board number 1, I thought, is this player stronger than Monre? And it filled me with a bit of nervous energy. But anyway, I managed to get something out of the game. So anyway, Lundi with the white pieces plays e4, and you can see that we enter into the national variation, bishop onto g5, which is a very sharp line. So the guy knows his stuff. F4, bishop on g7, and here traditionally the move queen onto f3 is played, but he plays queen onto d2, and this is the first time that I actually met this move over the board. I'm used to the move queen onto f3, as I said. And after this, there's a lot of theory, castle 97. And you can go into this line, g4, b5. And yeah, this is a nice line. This is the main line of the g4 line. Or you can actually choose bishop onto d3 with the idea of bringing the rook into the center quickly. And after b5, bishop b7, queen g3, b4, there's usually these sacrifices with knight onto d5. But I'm used to these things because after e takes, king b8, knight c6, takes, knight c5. I know my theory very, very well in these lines here. So anyway, after queen onto d2 is played, I played knight onto d7, bishop e2, and queen c7. You can see I'm just following the same structural setup as if the queen is on f3. I don't think that could be a bit harmful. So yeah, he castles, and I play the move h6. And now he has to make a decision. I believe that I was actually intending on capturing on e4 once he moves away, because after knight takes e4, the bishop is actually hanging, so I can actually pick the bishop up there. But after this, bishop on h4, I'm not sure whether this might be a good idea, because I think he might have knight onto f3, hitting the bishop, and then knight onto d6 is going to capture the pawn back. But I can look forward to what do you call it? I can look forward to having the two bishops on the board. So that's another idea. So anyway, bishop takes f6 is what he played. Knight takes f6 and g4. And now he's planning to push the pawn and further push the pawn to g6, weakening the pawn on e6 for his knight here. And you can put pressure, I believe, after g4 with bishop onto g4. And you can see that he's building up some momentum against my structure. So g5, pawn takes, and here I played knight onto h7. I think best was b4, which is what the engines actually, like, because after captures there, bishop takes c3, the structure on the king side for white is actually damaged, and I just restore my, pawn deficiency. And this is, a much more better, version of events for myself compared to what happened in the game. So after g5, I played knight onto h7, and yeah, now after h4, you can see this knight is a bit offside from the action that's taking place in the center. So I played g6, just ensuring that the pawn doesn't move another step forward. Here he played rook f1, targeting the f7 pawn, and here bishop b7 actually is a losing move. Surprisingly and shockingly, this actually loses the game, because if he found this move, knight takes b5, then I actually lose. But it requires a lot of calculation, because after a takes b5, bishop b5, here bishop b5, can see that the king cannot step to this side because knight in e6. You cannot capture here because the rook is pinning the pawn and the queen is attacked on the other side. So you'd have to unfortunately come to this side, king onto d8. And after king onto d8, you can capture the pawn on f7, and this should be good for white. You are threatening knight takes e6, which would fork the queen and the king. So if you play bishop c8 going back, knight c6 here and here, and that should be game right there. But unfortunately, my opponent didn't see it, or fortunately for me, he didn't see it, and he played rook on f1. So bishop onto g4, hitting here, and I played knight f8, defending. And here the game is a bit equal. Rook onto h7. Everything is just covered from my end, and I start some operations on the queen side. So knight a4, rook onto b8, just ensuring that there are no tactics with the queen and the knight, converging on the b6 square. And here he plays e5, giving up a pawn, which was very intriguing to me. But at the same time, I understood that he gets an open file here, so he takes d5. And after knight b3, bishop c6, hitting the knight. I believe that yeah, knight c5 is fine, hitting the pawn, but after bishop onto b5, he made a mistake here, playing bishop onto e2, coming back, and unfortunately, the knight is hanging, but there's some tactics that are involved. You can see that the queen is overloaded, it's protecting the knight on c5, it's protecting the bishop on e2, and something has to give. So bishop takes e2, the queen captures, so it moves away from the knight, and this is basically a full piece. So yeah, after this he tried as much as possible to also fight back, and you can see that he's trying to double up the rooks, but unfortunately this is thoroughly covered, and he just loses the game at this point. So knight onto b6 played. Now these two rooks are threatening on d2, and the queen is threatened on the other side. Queen onto b5 played. The rook captures, knight captures check. The queen interferes, and here you can see we just enter into a position where my piece up is still on the cards. Unfortunately here, I think, let me just speed up the process so that you can see the rest of the game. Otherwise, yeah, it's just a case of getting the pawns to make a new queen, and then after that, stopping his pawns as well. And yeah, the game essentially is over. So yeah, he tried to resist a bit, but yeah, the game is over at this point. And I think he was trying to get some draw ideas, but of course, you're not gonna get a draw here. And I had to, checkmate him so that he can actually see that the game is over. Players who do not want to resign, but that's okay, a well-fought game as well, and I think perhaps he was also disappointed with his play a bit, hence the reason why he continued, playing. But yeah, something that happened to me at the closed as well, so I'm aware and acquainted with that feeling. So yeah, that's the end of the game, guys. Game number 13 of the World Championship will be happening tomorrow, and I'll be doing some, some analysis on that. But also, I'll be doing my SummerSlam game later on today, just to show you a game that I almost lost, but I managed to actually save it. And yeah, we can take a look at that as well. Do like and subscribe, and consider leaving some comments on YouTube as well. And don't forget, we have a WhatsApp group as well, where you can actually drop your voice notes, and we'll play your voice notes here online. Do engage us. What do you think about the World Championship? What do you think about the games? Let me know on the voice note on WhatsApp. Thank you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers.